Welcome back to Combatants Will Be Dispatched Anime Review Episode number 3. This will be the fourth episode of the series, which is called... there it is. How to Defeat an Evil Leader. Yep, still doing from book 1. There's actually about two more episodes of this one. And then they finish up basically adapting book 1. And then I think pretty much the rest of the season just covers book 2. Yes, book 2. Well, another mission for this episode where we kind of pick up where we left off last week, where Snow is bringing Six before one of the generals because, well, Helena the Flame has shown up again and he's sent to be dispatched to deal with him and the unit, along with some troops. I'd say a good about a couple hundred of them, and basically they're dealt with, well, for Helene herself. And she's there. Oh yeah, by the way, the chief of staff basically is very creepy, and the way that, well, he described him to Snow is that he basically has got cliche villain dialogue, and he doesn't trust him. Oh yeah, and Grimm is asleep, like usual. So, they see this big golem coming toward them. So they're just like, we'll take this group, we'll take that group, and of course... Snow volunteers to take on Helene. Rose takes on Helene's Griffin. Grimm, of course, is asleep, and Alice takes care of, well, Grimm. Meanwhile, Six has to take care of a golem. Yes, a golem. Excuse me. He just keeps running away from it. Kind of similar what happened with Konosuba whenever you have the girls run away from a frog, which I thought was so hilarious. The fact was a nod to that. And plus, this is the second nod I've seen to Konosuba in this series. The first and obvious one was Agent 6 saying explosion the way he did, similar to Megumin from Konosuba. So he tries shooting the thing, doesn't exactly work. And then he tries punching where the bullet is, and does break a little bit, even kicks him. And then basically Alice comes to the ingenious idea to use C4 on this damn thing. So Six basically buys time by disabling his safeties, and then Rose herself shows up after trying to eat the Griffin. It's like, nah, they think tastes nasty. And she's like, thinking of buying some food later on, and of course she disables safeties. And, well, then he picks the thing up a little bit, and of course Alice vibes nick of time with C4. Then, pretty much, well... C4 on the thing, wasn't there, explodes. And with the troops dealing with her troops, also is Helene. And then, of course, Grimm wakes up after he hit with one of the rocks, puts a curse on Helene where she can't move for a minute. And, of course, then you have Agent 6 where he can finally move. And then they actually knock off one of the jewel. Basically, it's a high-power jewel. With that, she can remember to Elite 4. Without the jewel, she can't remember to Elite 4. So... 6, before he give it back, he has to embarrass her by having her pose for explicit photos. Almost like he's a photographer for Playboy, except she's not being forced to strip naked. And he takes various pictures of her, and her troops are like, what the heck is this? And the other troops would probably have no reaction to this. And it's like, I thought you could say you can give back my jewel. And, of course, I never said that. And I was like, yeah, he's right. He never said that. Alright, you want this back? Pulls down the zipper. You're probably thinking, oh, crap. Is he bring out his dick? No. He just puts a jewel there. And apparently she gets it back. And then she flies away in embarrassment. And then, of course, he goes and gets drunk with everybody. Except for Rose, who doesn't drink because she's a robot. So... then eventually, of course, Snow brings him back to his room. And, yeah, then pretty much after he gets back to his room, well, first comes to his room after the mission, where he basically brags about, actually the brag comes a little bit later, where we're bragging about the mission. So, he's drunk, and then later on, and of course you can't say I really want to kill him, and just by sheer coincidence, the Chief of Staff wants to talk to her. And yes, this actually happened in the book. I believe this happened in chapter 4. No, I think it was 3 if I'm not mistaken. So, They talk, and of course she wants to return to her previous position by getting rid of Six, by basically embarrassing him, and of course also admitting he's a spy. She's like, nah, he may be a pervert. Maybe other things of a spy. And then of course he overhears a conversation that Six and Alice have, where it's like, oh yeah, joking like, what if the king basically offered his daughter to be his wife, and of course all the girls would be jealous, and marrying good old Snow, despite the fact she's just about his age. And of course, like, telling back to the spy mission, and then she overhears that, opens the door and says, "Spy, you want to explain that to me?" And that's the episode. What a very interesting ending, and I'm still loving this series. I would say out of the 4 episodes I watched so far, only I think it's like the opening episode has got reference to Konosuba, and this one does. Oh yeah, and by the way, Helene herself actually is never killed off in this book at all. Nope, in case you're wondering. She's alive by book 5. And she never gets killed off in the series. Nope, she doesn't. But yeah, that's going to be... Now, in the case of when the next episode is going to air, well, hopefully it airs next week. I hope so. Hopefully we don't have to wait a whole freaking month for the next episode to air. Yeah, I don't like the fact Funimation was doing this, where they air 2 episodes 2 weeks in a row, and then take almost a month off before they finally air more episodes. It could be because the voice actors are busy. It's possible. But here's the thing. As this episode, they have currently 6 more episodes left. So, can we please try to get this all caught up to basically where the actual, well, anime is. Now, as far as I can tell in Japan, they aired episode 11 this past weekend. So, I think it aired just yesterday. So, there's technically 1 more episode left to go in Japan, and that'll be pretty much it. So it's not 6, it's more like 7. So hopefully they air episode 5 next week, at least when they release it. I hope so. Yep. But yeah, that's the episode of you. Stay tuned for my next review, which is going to be My Hero Academia, and then it's going to be One Piece and Boruto, and that'll be it for today. Okay, to the video. Bye.